For December 18th, 2018 at 7:02. Shall I please call the roll?
Riley?
Here.
Dorsey?
Here.
Tillman?
Here.
Gray?
Here.
Callahan?
Here, thank you. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Any items to be added, removed, or changed on the agenda?
There are not.
All right. So I would entertain a motion to establish the consent agenda as follows. Approval of the regular board meeting minutes of November 20th, the executive session minutes of November 20th, public hearing minutes of November 20th, paid expenditures, expense reports, investment summary, income statement, purchases, and ordinance number 382, declaration of surplus property.
So moved.
Second.
It's a tie.
That's on you, man.
You can tell.
The chair calls, all right. All right. Motion by Tillman, second by Gray. Any further discussion? Shall I please call the roll?
Tillman?
Aye.
Gray?
Aye.
Riley?
Aye.
Dorsey?
Aye.
Callahan?
Aye, motion carries. So entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda as established.
So moved.
Second.
Oh.
Motion by Tillman, second by Gray.
Meat buzzers.
He's got a new sense of energy today. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next item on the agenda is guests, matters from the public. Anyone wishing to address the board this evening, please approach the podium. State your name for the record as well as your address, please.
Thank you. My name is Adam Savolka. I live at 231 Stock Drive, Batavia. Thank you for having me here today. My wife and I have been residents of Batavia for 9 years. We have 3 kids, 4th grade, 1st grade, and
I hate to interrupt.
yeah,
Can we swing the camera on him, please?
yeah, you gotta get that.
Thank you. That's our money shot. That's our money shot right there. Yeah, thank you. I'm sorry to interrupt.
Adam Savolka, 3 kids. So, anyway, thanks for having me here today. I just come to talk to the board a little bit about what myself, two neighbors of mine, good friends, Todd Baller, Mike Slattery. We're just here to kind of put out the initial conversation that we hope that the board will have surrounding a indoor recreational facility that we feel is missing and we're lacking here in town. The 3 of us, we're proud residents of Batavia. We bleed the Bulldogs and we love it here. And for me, you know, having young children and whether it be heading off to Glen Ellen as I was this weekend for my son's basketball game, or over to Geneva to watch my daughter dance in her Christmas recital, or my youngest son, preschooler, having him have to go to preschool at one of the private institutions. Great school, but we know that not everybody can afford that. And so what we're really looking for and would call upon the board is to pursue the funding source necessary to build a state-of-the-art indoor recreational facility that we feel that this community deserves. Whether it be just in the Tri-Cities or Fox Valley Park District, or some of those that are around us in Woodridge and Glen Ellen and communities that are similar size as us. We know that Batavia is a great place, and we also know in terms of an investment that there's a major return on investment. When schools are good, and we already checked that box, right? So next is the Park District facilities to create opportunities for all age groups, whether that be, in my case, preschoolers, you can have newborns, all the way to the senior citizens within the communities who have really been the cornerstone and laid the foundation for where we are today. And now we have to think to the future. And we feel, given that we now have some roots in the community and better understand the workings of the community, that we can mobilize and get this job done. I know the three of us in the room today would be willing to do whatever it takes to get it done, but there are many more that I'm sure are logged in and watching at home right now. That was a joke. But whenever it does come on public access, I'm sure they'll be watching. But that being said, there are many more out there, and you need to know that. And evidence of that was the most recent survey that the Park District distributed, and the respondents, 75% of them responded that they would support a move towards an indoor facility. So we think the time is now. We think we can build on the history that Batavia has developed and the reputation that has been developed within this community to now move it into the next generation. And again, whether you be a senior that has laid the foundation and maybe you want to sell a house and you're downsizing, having this on the horizon will help that return on investment. For the young families, it now gives families of all income levels an opportunity to engage and not have to pay those out-of-district prices to participate in programs that I know our Park District wants to offer, but is limited just based on simply facility. So, so anyhow, I challenge the board to pursue this. I think it's a worthy cause. I know I'm not the only one. I know obviously my neighbors and friends here today do, but I know many in the community believe that the time is now to take us on that next forefront. We have the school to match, any school in the state and the country. So let's have a Park District facility that can do the same. So, I appreciate you. I don't know if there was a time limit, and I blew that time limit, so forgive me for that. But I appreciate you taking the time listening to me, and just know you have people in your corner, and that it is a worthwhile cause and one that we feel is essential to take the next step for our community and for our families, and just to build on the legacy that Batavia has for itself. So.
Well, Adam, I appreciate you coming out tonight and sharing your words, and I also appreciated the meeting that you, Allison, and I had several weeks ago. As you well know, we do have the survey results that we've been working on next steps for, and the next steps would be a community engagement campaign. And we should hopefully have that formalized probably just after the holidays, and would welcome some input from you and your neighbors to talk a little bit about how we make sure we touch the folks in the community and get out to have an opportunity to have a dialogue with them prior to that whole next step of talking about funding and funding sources. I think we have to start with a dialogue. The survey was a good primer to say, yes, there's an interest. But the next item on the agenda is matters from the commissioners, so I'll give my fellow commissioners an opportunity to respond as well, because I know we have a few that don't like to talk, so they may have a couple of small words for you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Adam.
Thank you.
All right, so matters from the commissioners.
So, I just want you to know that I personally accept your challenge to us to start this discussion, to look into the community engagement, to look at the survey results, move forward on that. I, in case you didn't know, have been involved with the Park District on recreation and working with kids for over 20 years, and know the struggle with programming space. And there's a couple of us that have been involved in referendums in the past. And so I personally understand the challenge of programming space. And with the folks in our staff, it's a challenge all the time. That there are programming things that we cannot do right now, that, or it's just so much of a challenge that we are working through all over the city to try to get things done, that if we had one centralized place, we can do a lot better job. So I just want you to know, I accept your challenge, that I will do my part to get the rest of the board, if they're not already with me, to start talking about this when they're already with me. So.
Anyone else?
Just one important thing that you did say, as well as
all the other things. But you said that you'd be willing to help, and your neighbors would also be willing to get the word out, and that really helps. Once Pat talks about going out and talking with residents, holding meetings, but to get a groundswell from residents to help push things forward and keep the momentum going, really is big. And to also, we want to be transparent, we want to be truthful with cost and what it can do, and if there's untruths out there to help quell those before they get too big. And having residents out there knowing the truth and being transparent along with us, it really goes a long way. So thanks for your for that extra help.
No problem.
Anyone else?
Yeah, I would also like to go on record saying that I am all for a recreation center for our community. I think that it would be a great addition, not only for property values, but also to create a larger sense of community among Batavians, because you get to see your neighbors in another location on a regular basis. I think it's a great way for the Park District to reach out to the community on a different level. And I think that it's commendable that you want to get involved and see this thing through. It's really important to have the community support. The community needs assessment reflected exactly, your sentiment and the fact that we do have a need for a community center. What it looks like moving forward, like Kevin had said, it's important for us to be transparent. But yeah, like John said, I accept your challenge as well. I think that it would be great for our community.
Tara? Anything?
I agree. I'm in agreement. I'm in agreement. In fact, I know your wives. You're Louise White families, right?
We are.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right. JB Nelson, east side.
Yeah. Drive right by you.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, thanks for coming out to show your support.
Yeah, appreciate that. So I'll just close by this. So I was interviewed to sit on this board in 1997. At that time, my wife and I had moved to Batavia. We were here for about a year and a half, 2 years, no kids. As I sit here today, some 20 years later, I have just submitted my petitions to renew sitting in this chair for 6 more years because my work here is not done. So
Well,
I'm with you.
appreciate all your leadership. I know that for all of you, it's a lot of time, energy, and effort. I know this will be the next frontier. I'm sure that once we get this done, all your names will be on a nice plaque. At least you have that.
Thanks for squaring it away for us.
Anyhow,
No, really appreciate you guys coming out. And
Thank you, and you do have the support, and this will take us, like I said, to that next level as a community and bring us all together for all the variety of people that are currently here, and as well coming here, and just will really be able to celebrate Batavia even more. So, thank you.
thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thanks.
And Adam, you and I will stay in touch.
All right, great.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, next item on the agenda is correspondence. I'd like to acknowledge one piece of correspondence, a letter from the Executive Director Niemela for participation in the Batavia Public Library's holiday readings at the Celebration of Lights events. I'll put that on file. And our favorite part of the meeting, announcements.
Well,
Katie?
thank you. Thank you, sir. Calling all preschool parents, are you looking for a prospective new preschool? Well, New Horizons preschool registration for the 2019-2020 school year will begin on January 7th for residents. Registration can be done at the Eastside Community Center, located at 14 North Van Buren Street. Non-resident registration will begin on February 4th. Participants currently enrolled in the New Horizons program have first priority. We want to remind you to please bring proof of residency if it's applicable, including a birth certificate, updated immunizations, and correct deposit fees in order to register. We will also be hosting a very special preschool open house on Tuesday, January 22nd from 6 to 7:30 p.m. If you would like to visit our classrooms and meet all of our amazing preschool teachers, I highly recommend it. And for more information, or if you do just want to schedule your very own private tour of the preschool, you can contact the recreation supervisor of that program, which is Lori McDonald, at 630-406-5282. And as you guys know, the weather has been all over the place this year, so as soon as Mother Nature allows, the Depot Pond at the Riverwalk will be open for ice skating. The Batavia Park District would like to remind skaters to practice safety when using the pond, so please stay off any thin, slushy ice or any freshly sprayed ice. When the red flag is flown, skating is prohibited. And if the conditions are right, you will see the green flag flown down at the Riverwalk. The Peg Bond Center will also be open as an unsupervised warming house, weather permitting, of course. The doors will open at 8 a.m. and close at 5 p.m. And just by following these simple precautions, we'll keep everyone safe this winter and allow everyone to enjoy the pond. And also, dads and daughters ages 3 and up will dance the night away at the annual Daddy-Daughter Date Night Friday, February 1st from 6:30 to 8:30 p.m. at Rotolo Middle School. So definitely be sure to save the date and sign up early for this popular program. The event night will showcase a special princess theme, including dancing, entertainment, games, photo booth, and a lot of other fun surprises. The cost is $30 per couple. Dinner option at Pal Joy's, as well as a corsage sponsored by Paragon Flowers, is also available with the event. And just one final reminder, in observation of the holidays, the Park District offices will be closed on Monday, December 24th and December 25th, as well as Saturday, December 29th through Tuesday, January 1st. We will also have the offices only open from 8:30 a.m. to 1 p.m. Wednesday through Friday, December 26th through the 28th. And you can also always visit our website at bataviaparks.org for a full list of our holiday hours. And last but not least, just from our Batavia Park District family to yours, we want to wish you a very festive holiday season and a Happy New Year. Thank you.
Thanks, Katie. So next on the agenda is staff reports. So let's start with the board this time. I'm gonna turn it. Any questions on staff reports? That way we can just let you guys go right into them. So.
Did Eric make his poem all on his own? Did he write the poem all on his own? Did you
I
get
think
help?
Eric should have to sing his poem.
Have you done that before?
Well,
To the jingle bells. I don't know about that.
I don't know if we should just get crazy like that.
Thank you.
But the number one Parky, I like the
pretty good.
Parkies aspect of it. So
Very creative.
I did. I always do.
You could rap it.
Kevin? Any questions?
Stephen, so on one of your comments here, you mentioned that City Wave Church has rented Shannon Hall for all of 2019. And do you think that's because some of the promotions they're doing, or are they searching out for a space and they happen to run across this?
I think it's a combination of both. I think, Shannon Hall is a beautiful location. It has that church setting anyways. And I think that, I don't know if you've heard, we just got Wi-Fi at the east side too. I think that was a nice little draw. And, I think it's a nice space with, we're being very accommodating to that.
So yeah, so everybody's coming, so that's a good deal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're looking at more of those too down the road.
Yeah, absolutely. Anyone else?
I just want to make a comment about archery. I thought that was a very interesting addition. I myself, I'm not like an archer or anything, but it's always intrigued me, so it's nice to see the Park District offering something a little out of the norm.
Sure. And I'm a big Game of Thrones fan, so it helps me like relive the Game of Thrones.
Just like
So
it.
do you show up in like full costume and so forth? I get that.
Do you change your voice and everything?
Sometimes.
Okay.
You should see me when it comes dressed up.
Exhilarating.
All right, any other comments, board? All right, then I'll turn it over to Steve.
Our wonderful staff down at the museum wanted me to let you know that on the 13th, they hosted a 200th birthday party for Mary Todd Lincoln. 25 people joined them here in the Barton Room. There's actually still some cake left in the back room if you'd like.
She didn't show up, did she?
You know what? They waited all night and she didn't make it.
Okay.
Surprising.
Just checking.
The folks that did had a wonderful time, so. And if you're a last-minute shopper, like me, please give the ladies down at the depot a call at 630-406-5274 for some wonderful last-minute Batavia-themed gifts. Give them a call.
There you go.
So,
Bataviapolis.
Bataviapolis?
Yeah.
That's
Oh,
right.
great game.
Yeah.
$25.
Love it. Big hit.
Over to you.
Well, there's a lot going on in finance right now as we wrap up the year. We had a successful debt issuance yesterday, thanks to Aaron and Dave and Anthony from Spear to come out and make a presentation to the board tonight for it. They were a great partner and everything was very seamless, along with Chapman and Cutler. The budget is also winding down now. We have a presentation tonight on that later. It's on the draft ordinance is on the website for public inspection, and it's also available at the front desk here at the Civic Center. And I'd just like to thank Tammy and Rita for coming here, as well as I have a lot of guests in the audience here tonight, but Rita's here to present a CAFR award to the districts later. That's the Comprehensive Annual Financial Report from the Government Finance Officers Association. The district has won this for, I believe, 7 years straight now, we decided. And that's all the hard work that goes into that has helped fund the budget successes that we've had, as we talk about our capital development plan later tonight. And I'd like to take a moment and give Tammy some special acknowledgement. She's here as well. She's been here for quite some time, has really helped me get up to speed here. She's probably really mad at me for embarrassing her right now, but she's an unsung hero here at the Park District.
Wonderful.
Happy holidays to everybody.
Same to you.
Thank you. Steve and I have been working on some improvements for the Civic Center gym, and for quite a long time now. First we attacked the gymnastics equipment, and when we got down to looking at the floor that hadn't been uncovered for a couple decades, we noticed that there was some significant water and moisture damage, which caused the planking to cup. So immediately, being the old hat carpenter and thinking, oh, we'll just refinish it, Steve jumped in and helped get some quotes, and we talked to a lot of different people in the field, and it was determined that the floor really needs to be replaced. And we felt it would be the better use of our monies to look in that direction. So first thing we did was submit a claim to Paderma, our risk insurance agency for the Park District. And my gut's kind of telling me that because there isn't one single water damage event, and this just happened over a number of years, kind of being an optimist with experience, which is called a realist. I don't know if that's quite going to go to our favor, but it's still pending approval. And Steve emailed them earlier this week and got a response that they're still talking about it. One of the things we wanted to do as an option was to look at doing like a scuffing and then a reseal ourselves in-house without any contracted services. And then I'll talk with Allison and Jim and then present to you tonight the idea of relooking at some of our capital outlays for 2019 or 20 for full floor replacement, so then we can better apply the funds that we have currently budgeted for some improvements.
So we currently budgeted $50,000, and to replace an entire gym floor might be upwards of $125, $150.
Yeah.
But is there a temporary solution in-house scuffing it to
Yeah,
at
if
least get us
we
through?
decide to, wait, we wouldn't do any structural repairs. We would do a full cleaning and a sealing in-house, and then use the floor in the cupped condition, and then knowing that we have a solid plan moving forward. So Steve is currently working on a plethora of program options, and looking forward to the future. We want to have every opportunity to make those programs grow, and I think it's important to support it with good infrastructure. So yes to a temporary, but we really need to be focused on a quick turnaround for a replacement.
What's the subfloor underneath there, and is that also something that
Just sleepers.
is just sleep?
Just
No, this is, I'm sorry. This is a, what they call it,
track system.
It's a little track system where each of the pieces is held down by a strip of metal.
Yeah.
Okay.
So there really is no.
So we don't have to worry about any water damage once we get these planks up and have further damage on our floor replacement that we didn't know about until we got it ripped up, right?
Kind of like they do foundation sealing now
Right.
and all sorts of water. They have that stippled surface that they put on so the water can be moving
Move
or
through.
infiltrating under, but not get between the underside of the wood and, keeping air.
They don't really make that system anymore.
No.
And the updates with the roof will definitely
Yes.
decrease that for
I was
future.
just afraid that if once we pull those boards up, we find a disaster underneath there.
It's going to be a mess.
Yeah, okay.
But if you do not get a favorable acknowledgement from Padermo, call me.
Okay.
Good to know.
I have a good history, track history with Padermo. So.
All right. So with that, that's the direction that we're going at this time, and so more information will be forthcoming unless you say at this time, we'll continue as.
Well, I mean, it's an original floor, isn't it?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, so
So,
Yep.
it's about time.
1970s
And we haven't really
Academy
done
floor.
much, with all the equipment that's been on it for a number of years, so,
Right.
yeah,
haven't even been able to see it.
right.
No.
Okay.
Do you have an estimate of what the Band-Aid repair would be?
Estimating some of the material from our experience in the past to do the full square footage, it's around $1,500 for the ceiling material, the sealant, and then some products to help with the installation. We got some lumber that we need to repair, but it will be a small square footage of that because larger spots will be out of our wheelhouse. So 2,000, I think would probably be a good number.
And we still got some money in CDP, so we'll kind of brainstorm, get kind of a vision for what we can do now, so we can make those improvements with the CDP funds, so that when we do it, we're actually that far much ahead.
So when that happens, I would appreciate if we also had information on, okay, we did this change, but it's only really going to last for X long. We really need to do a replacement before whenever. Because if a temporary thing is like, okay, based on the programming we're going to put in there, we're looking at a year tops, that's going to help me make decisions going forward on,
Okay.
And probably others just to say, okay, we really need to do something before we have a real problem.
Good point.
Because it's a good news, bad news. Yes, we're getting half the gym back, but we want to program that.
Right, exactly.
Very heavily.
And that's
so-
my point. So the more people that go in there, what's that going to do?
Sure.
And how much longer before we really have a bigger disaster on our hands because we were using a section of floor that really shouldn't have been used,
Right.
that kind of thing. And so it's going to help me make my decision on, we need to move things around or do whatever to get that done.
Okay?
So,
Thank you. That's it for me.
Thank you.
Good direction. Thank you.
You gonna fight for it? Shambone?
What's that?
You gonna shambone for it?
with the microphone?
Go.
Yeah, you're up.
Steve, you're up.
Okay.
Steve, you're up.
Okay. Commissioner Riley kind of took a lot of my thunder with my report about the church and the Wi-Fi. The Wi-Fi is big. If you're over at the east side, please take it for a spin. It's open to the public. Thank you, Gary and Josh, for helping out. They played a big part of that, as well as Ispera. Jeremy, Brock played a big part. So it's good because it's really going to help elevate some programs and, again, entice more rentals, businesses. Businesses can have a meeting at Shannon Hall. So I'm going to work with Katie and Becca down the road to do kind of a marketing campaign, getting more of those people into our facilities. District strategic planning, we're still working on that. Working with Bobby Nance, as she was here before, so we're kind of piece by piece putting that together. Basketball, we're starting practices. Numbers are good.
Yeah, they are.
So we should be, so far Ryan's doing a good job with the coaches, getting that squared away, and we start that program pretty much after the holidays. Pickleball, kind of talked about that, continues to grow. You know, with the new gym, we'll add more courts so more people can get there. And we're having it both as the East Side and Civic Center, and people are very receptive, and like I said, it keeps growing. So that's really all I have. Any questions?
I just want to point out that we were talking about this earlier, that, we've talked many times about how the third and fourth grade and so forth, some of the numbers are down and some of the preschool activities are all that. But the numbers for the basketball program are right at or just above where they've been for 15, 20 years. I mean, it's
very consistent.
It's really amazing how the program still is right where it needs to be as far as the numbers, and that just shows the quality of the program, so I
And
think
the
that's a great
trend,
job.
the trends in all park districts, not all of them, most of them, are female sports going down. But for
But these,
Batavia,
these
they're
numbers
going-
are right where they've always been, you know,
Yeah, that's good.
if not a little bit, 1 or 2 higher than where they were before, so.
Yeah, definitely.
My turn. So a quick update for you guys that actually did not make my report. Last week, Allison, Eric Locker, Steve Galimbieski, and some of our team members had the pleasure of doing a meet and greet with Main Street. And so we actually were able to sit down with Chris Faber, the new executive director, and his partner in crime, Kathy, and just do a proper introduction to him and welcome him to the community and just how we would be partnering together. And I think it's great that we do that. I've said this in the past, but we're really fortunate here in Batavia that we work so well with our community partners and all the other community organizations, such as the chamber, the library, the city, et cetera. So I thought it was a really successful meeting, and we're looking forward to another year of partnering on some events with them. And then also, as John requested last month, I included some new updated social media stats in my reports. So hopefully, John and any of the board members, if you have any feedback for me, that was something that you might be looking for. If you'd like me to expand upon that, I thought this would be a great time of the year too. If there's any other additional information you'd like in my reports, I'd be happy to do that. I know Eric has some great parky tips, and so if you want any how to boost your social media presence with your personal account, let me know. I'm happy to put some tips in there for
I
you
just think
guys.
some of these numbers are amazing, and
Yeah.
I'd like them in here so that we could kind of brag on some of them, 55,000 individuals for the posts, up 10%. I mean, that's a lot, just shows to the quality of folks coming in and looking at our stuff and reviewing what we have and liking it or whatever. And so I love seeing these numbers in here, so thank you very much for adding them in here.
Oh, my pleasure.
I think too, it also justifies having a social media specialist
yeah.
too that you're going to meet soon.
Yeah, I think the stats are great. It's really important that we look at being mobile-friendly moving forward for all new versions. So I know that Pure Imagination developed a website way back in the day. They're still around. I use them for the company that I work with.
Oh,
'cause
you
they're
do?
great. So maybe moving forward, it would make sense to talk with them on any kind of updates that you might want to do with the website.
Actually,
That is one of the big projects that's proposed in the 2019 budget. One of my big projects is doing a complete overhaul of the website. Typically, you want to update your website every 5 to 7 years. We're actually coming upon 7 years, so we're a bit behind. And so I'm looking forward to having the board's support of us doing this update that I think will help us drive more traffic and increase our, registration numbers, as well as just get more information about all the wonderful things that we do offer, so that our residents like our preschool and other programs that we offer, make sure everybody knows what we have available to them.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Obviously, you have my support.
Yeah,
So-
thanks.
Also,
oh, go ahead.
just a side note for social media.
Sure.
That video for the Peace on Earth Bridge, I know that it's later on, I didn't know if you were going to mention it, but I watched it before you guys even sent out the email. I thought it was excellent. I thought everybody was represented well. I think Batavia as a community was represented well in the video. And it's, a source of pride being on the board, and being able to say that, passively, I've had a hand in that.
yep, you sure have. All of you.
Yeah, well, your team as well spends a lot of time out there putting it up, so
Yeah.
kudos to all of you.
Well, I just want to say too, I'm really just the feedback from the community on videos like that too, that helps secure our in-house videos that we want to continue to do, which definitely brings me into, should we do staff's introductions now? Super excited to introduce actually to all of you some new additions to our team here in Batavia, particularly in the marketing department. We've got two very talented young women joining our team that I think are going to help us reach those goals. And the first one of them that I'd like to introduce to you is our graphic design and media specialist, Laura Ferguson.
All right, my name is Laura Ferguson, and I am the new graphic design and media specialist. And I'm very excited to take on that role. So most recently, I graduated with a degree in graphic design from North Park University. And at my university, I was vice president of marketing and communications for all activities on and off campus. And after that, I was an intern at WTTW Channel 11. I was the community outreach and social media intern there. And then they also hired me to do a bit of freelance work as well. So that's just a little snippet of me. I enjoy photography and videography. So if you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them. And I'm just happy to be a part of the team.
Welcome.
Welcome.
I have to say, I was so impressed with Laura. It was like her third day on the job. And staff was talking about paint colors, and we want to refresh the front office, and, what color should we paint the lobby? She overheard the conversation, and she chimed in and said, I can Photoshop a mock-up. Just give me, a paint
Nice.
swatch, and I'll show you what that will look like. And it was just her on her own, just offering to do that. Like, wow, good thing we hired you.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. We want her to come to our houses now.
Yeah, I better say, come help me in my house because I have no idea.
Do you side work?
Yeah. Does the board have any questions for her?
No, thank you.
Great.
Welcome.
Next one, come. This is the pomp and circumstance.
Welcome. Congratulations. Thanks.
We can do it. Yay, Laura. Well, thank you, Laura. We're so excited. Her amazing videography skills are definitely part of why she was selected out of so many applicants. And another position that we just recently hired for that was really important to me and to the district is the marketing and communications coordinator position. And I'm super excited to introduce you to Kelly Hauge.
Good evening. Thanks for having me here. So like Katie mentioned, my name is Kelly Hauge. I'm the new Marketing and Communications Coordinator. I graduated from Aurora University with a degree in Marketing and Business Administration. I was heavily involved in their American Marketing Association, and I was actually named the Student Marketer of the Year, so marketing is definitely a passion of mine. Growing up, high school and college, I worked at the Oswego Land Park District, most recently in Special Events and Marketing Department. And then I worked private for Spec Engineering, which is a small engineering firm in Plainfield, and I was their marketing specialist for about 2 years. So I'm already hitting the ground running, working on the spring brochure, and I'm super excited to be part of the Batavia team. Any questions?
I'd like to say with Kelly, I was fortunate enough to be on the interview team with Katie Drum, and Kelly was the diamond in the rough. So
Excellent.
to welcome you to the
Welcome.
team.
Welcome. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Welcome.
Nice to meet you.
Hey, Kelly. This is awkward. Santa's getting up.
Oh.
Number one, Parky.
Gentlemen, I'd like to acknowledge tonight. I've written about this first gentleman, Gary Motika, who's our superintendent of facilities and trade, in my board reports, and you've seen him out in the field and had one-on-one conversations with him for years. I'm hoping that tonight you would join me in wishing Gary a healthy and happy, very happy and well-earned retirement. He is going to be leaving us here physically at the end of this month, and then he'll be in sporadically through January, but for the most part, his work is done here. But like I said, Gary, come on up. There's so many things that he's done. I was trying to pick a few that I could share with you, but it's just, he's done a lot of good things, and it's going to be hard to say goodbye to him. I'm very proud of myself right now for being able to get through this. And I'll start
Well
to
done,
get
Eric.
Yeah.
quivery, but,
Aww. Now you're
Congratulations.
Congratulations. Good luck.
Thanks for everything, Gary.
And with that said, out with the old and in with the new, as they say.
I've seen that guy. I've seen that
Behind him,
guy.
and has joined our
Is he
team,
new?
Josh Wyant. He is the new superintendent of facility and trades. And we were blessed to have him for about a month now.
Yeah, a month and a little over.
And Gary has been just bleeding information into this poor guy's head. So much more here.
Right.
Must be the position.
Right, yes, yeah.
Oh, that's
But,
right.
anyway, I'd like
Okay.
him to give you a little bit of information about himself, and he's been doing a phenomenal job. He fits in like a glove. He's just get along great, and Gary's enjoyed his company as well, and that's why I'd like you to welcome him to our team.
Thank you. Like Eric said, name's Josh Wyant. Actually moved out here a little about a year and 6 months ago from Minnesota.
Can you say that one more time?
Yeah, what was that?
Yeah, Eric from Minnesota.
Yeah.
But,
I have many relatives up there, I just miss it, so.
yeah. So actually moved out here to be the director of ops for Seven Bridges Ice Arena in Woodridge. And then I was lucky enough to come upon this. So I thank Allison and Eric for giving me this great opportunity, and I'm absolutely thrilled to be here. So hoping to do good things here in the future. So,
We're the lucky ones. You may recognize him. His mug was on the Peace on Earth video.
Right.
So was it staged that he sat in the back and he was in the front row? It's just.
thank you.
Welcome. Nice to meet you.
Welcome.
Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you.
It's a lot of people.
December meeting.
It's wonderful.
They candy into this.
It's a wonderful life.
No, thank you.
Thank you. Welcome, everybody.
And Gary, we're gonna miss you a lot. You really left your mark.
And I'll drop that.
Excellent.
Please don't feel obligated to stay. Just, I know.
Any of you.
You have your marching orders.
I
Just-
encourage the new staff to stay, though.
You say that to me every time, but being a guy who sits through more board meetings than all of you.
It's almost Christmas.
Right?
Yeah, right, exactly. Okay, next item on the agenda is. You said new, you didn't say old.
What are you gonna do?
Already retired.
Good for him, God bless him.
Right?
Oh, that was classic. What a tough act to follow. Whew. So since we're talking about out with the old and in with the new, let's talk about in with the new, Jones Meadow Park. So this is one of our parks that's in North Aurora. It's right off of Orchard Road. And they have not seen a new playground in 16 years now. So Jimmy B and I met with Upland Design, and we had our community input meeting, and this was the playground that the residents have chosen. So they're really thrilled. There's a fun little balance beam feature, plenty of slides, as you can see, and you can't go wrong with swing sets. Also, Memorial Park. Oh, I thought I heard applause there for a second. Memorial Park, we wanted to go with a theme, so we wanted to go with the patriotic theme. So this will actually be poured in place surfacing, so it will not look like it is in this picture. So there'll be a fun patriotic theme, whether it's a flag, but we'll certainly put it before the park board so you'll get to see it before anybody else does. But they chose this structure that's very similar to what we have at Big Woods Park. So they like the tall traditional structure with the longer slides. Then there's the area for the 3 to 5 year olds. these days, everybody loves one of the inclusive spinners. And back in the olden days, they used to be metal, and now everything's plastic. So this was what they chose at Memorial Park.
No more bumpy slide at Memorial Park.
Yeah.
Lots of fingers pinched.
Right. But you know, I think people are really going to enjoy the poured in place surface at Memorial Park for strollers, for wheelchairs, and it's going to be ADA
It's a
friendly.
busy park. Yeah.
Miss the old rocket slide.
And out with the old. You're probably trying to place what this is and where this is. So this is actually one of the properties that we purchased on South River Street. And Jim Eby just took this picture. So this is a fresh picture of what the house looks like. 111, sorry, I'm on the opposite side of the street.
111.
The people living in that house are like, wait, what?
111. I'm just making up addresses. 111 South River. Oh my.
This is 115.
Sorry, 111's next door.
Okay.
We're actually demoing the one next door too.
Tomorrow.
So, yeah, obviously Jim took the picture and not me, so I'm trying to figure out what house this is. So this is just the side view. You can see the property that we're going to be demoing tomorrow is right next door. So that will really create a nice open space, which, you know, serves our mission well. And our benefactor helped us with this property. Again, in with the new, since that seems to be the theme for this meeting, these are you can tell like where the wall for the new playground at the Eastside Community Center is going to be. And here you go. You get to see it being laid out like that. Jim, did you want to explain anything about the process?
This is a wall form system that Upland Design researched, and the Herrera concrete, the concrete sub on this job, they are extremely quality contractor, and they have really enjoyed using this this product. It came out of Minnesota. Sorry.
A little longer.
Minnesota.
A little longer, just a second longer.
Minnesota.
Oh, yeah.
Minnesota.
It will be stained to match, or as closely match as we can, the limestone of Shannon Hall. In the
So
strip.
this area here.
So, yes, that's the form being stripped. I didn't.
Yeah.
Where's the grade level on?
Say it again?
Where's the grade level end up on this? Where's the
The
ground?
grade level will be at the bottom.
Right at that, or, okay, cool.
Pardon me. Yes.
And
So that's,
then,
pretty cool.
whoops.
Yeah.
And you're probably wondering what the playground's going to look like. So here we go. You can see Shannon Hall in the backdrop. And, you know, staff were tentatively calling this the New Horizons preschool playground, but it actually will be a neighborhood park open to the public during specific hours when the preschool's not using it. But this was the playground that the preschool teachers actually helped select. So we've been installing it literally piece by piece. It's hard with the ground being so frozen these days, but here's another view of it. You can see the workers working on the wall off to the side. So it kind of gives you a real feel for what that area is going to look like. We are going to plant 2 memorial trees for our New Horizons preschool teachers that had passed, and we are looking for neighborhood park dedication sometime in the fall. So I'll be coming to you for dates for that.
Is there a name for the?
We've
will there be
not
a
named
name
it
for
yet.
Okay.
Yep. So whether we have a naming rights contest, or if the park board would like to have a name, or if you'd like staff to generate ideas for names, and the park board can vote. It's up to you. And now we went from daylight to nighttime. Eastside Community Center, would you believe this is our new parking lot? We have the new parking lights installed, and I've never said this before about a parking lot, but it's actually beautiful. And we can say we put the park in parking lot because there's actually the area where there's now a beautiful trellis and an area for people to sit down. But it's just night and day difference, pun intended.
No, it is.
And this time of the year, you know, it's hard when we lose loved ones. So now's a good time for people to really think about the loved ones that maybe they've lost throughout the year. And what a great way to pay tribute to them. The Park District does have memorial benches, memorial trees. We even have a pet memorial program. And so a great way, a great gift this time of the year would be to honor your loved one with a memorial tree or bench or pet tree or bench. On a lighter note, pun intended, through being punny, Eric, you rub off
I know
on
that.
me. This is the winner of our holiday house decorating contest. We've seen extreme success between our haunted quarry, our Halloween decorating contest and our Christmas decorating contest. Batavia just loves decorating their houses, so just to show you a little festive shot of the winner. And last but not least, I want to leave you on this note and a special video for those of you at home in the audience. In case anybody here did not see it, I'd like to play the Peace on Earth video for you by Shumway Studio. In just one moment.
Right after these commercial messages.
That's right. After this commercial break. Oops.
Eric, sing.
We've got a wireless speaker that we're going to connect to it in just a second. So everybody hang on to your hats.
I'm not wearing it.
Or hair.
You know what? I'm cold.
You said it. While we're smoothing out our technical difficulties, I'd like to mention this particular video has 73,000 views, 1,200 shares. For those of you that are on Facebook, you know how significant that number is. 820 reactions and 114 comments.
That is just
So it's
amazing.
pretty significant.
Yeah.
All right, we're ready to roll it.
Can we just put the volume on his speaker? On his,
Is there a way to?
like on his laptop we can hear?
Your Bluetooth on? Is it connected?
Well, we could play the video without. Is there a way to do captions? Or you do subtitles?
Closed captioning.
Yeah, closed captioning if that works. Here we go.
Can you make it full screen too?
I can hear the music, that's all.
Can you hear it?
There you go.
Oh, good.
Just quiet.
Next box to the right.
Oh.
When I saw the bridge, and I saw this beautiful backdrop,
It's all right.
people drive by this street every day, and they gotta look at something, they
There
might
you
as
go.
well look at something that goes, what can you do? It's not such a bad thing. I had an idea.
There we go.
There we go.
Good job.
Bridge, make a nice backdrop for a sign.
This is cool.
They have some amazing shots, and this is again Shumway Studio that did this.
I made a lot of things in my life. I was trying to sketch it out, draw it out.
Had a machine, CAD design, so they could sit down and compute it and make it all real big. So it saved a whole lot of time. We made the letters, and the Park District was nice enough to let us use the bridge to mount the letters on.
So in 2008, Craig Faltos approached the Park District, and he said, "Hey, I've got these wooden letters, and I'm here to give them to you."
When I first heard about the letters, I was actually anticipating like maybe a 4x8 sheet of plywood. No big deal. Then Craig showed up to the shop and said, you know, the three favorite words that everybody loves to hear: some assembly required. And we put it together, and the letters turned out to be 12 feet tall and 8 feet wide. And it really makes a huge statement.
I think the letters mean so much to so many different people in various ways. You know, working for the Park District and knowing how much effort goes into it, I really feel like, personally to me, that the letters have a deep significance of community.
I like to live in a town where I know people care about each other. You know, I grew up in Batavia. where you helped each other out. I don't want to live in a town where you have to worry that somebody's going to, be mean to you or whatever. I like knowing that people care about one another as individuals and that peace is a forefront in their brain. I had a nun once tell me, you can love or hate, you can't do both at the same time. So why would you want to spend any time hating? But when you cut hair, you live that life. My father was a barber. We were always doing stuff for people, and you just realize it's a whole lot easier to live that way than to live the other way.
People continually share with me how much they appreciate what Batavia Park District means to them. And so to have this opportunity to share that with the citizens, that's what it's all about.
Batavia is so picturesque as it is, and when you drive over the Donovan Bridge and you just glance over to the north, you can't help but feel good about life.
I think that the people that put it up probably have some pride putting it up too. When you do good work, you feel good, and I would imagine that it would feel really good for them to be putting that up.
I like to call the guys the Peace on Earth angels that install them, because we got it down to a science now. I don't know, it's just a really good feeling to feel part of putting that statement up.
Obviously I wasn't alive during World War II, but I used to know a lot of customers that were, and I think of the Battle of the Bulge and fighting over Christmas, how horrible that had to be for those people. And I just think that when you find that place where you just have a calm in your head, in your heart, and you can hug people and love people. It's not a place, it's not a sign, it's just the thing that's in you.
Good job, Erin.
Well, we're going to stick with the warm, fuzzy feeling in this meeting.
Yeah, moving on. So we have 12A, which is Certificate of Achievement for Excellence in Financial Reporting. Rita, welcome back.
I feel like this is my annual visit.
Well, that's a good thing.
It is.
This is my second, third year that I've been doing this, so I feel like I'm back again.
And we appreciate it.
So tonight, I am honored to be here on behalf of the Government Finance Officers Association to present the Certificate of Achievement of Excellence in Financial Reporting to the Batavia Park District. The Certificate of Achievement program has been in operation since 1946. The purpose of this program is to encourage and assist governments in preparing financial reports of the highest quality for the benefit of the citizens and other parties with a vital interest in the government's finances. The program has gained widespread recognition as a premier indicator of excellence in governmental accounting and financial reporting. To earn the Certificate of Achievement for Excellence in Financial Reporting, the Batavia Park District had to substantially conform to the program's demanding criteria, which go well beyond the minimum requirements of the generally accepted accounting principles. The program participants submit copies of their CAFR, as we all know it, or the Comprehensive Annual Financial Report, to the Certificate of Achievement program for an in-depth review and evaluation. The review and evaluation is performed by 2 members selected from an impartial panel of government finance officers, independent certified public accountants, educators, and others with specialized interest and experience in governmental accounting and financial reporting. The reports are also reviewed by and evaluated by members of the GFOA professional staff. Only those reports that are judged by all reviewers to have substantially met the program's criteria are awarded the Certificate of Achievement for Excellence in Financial Reporting. The receipt of this award reflects the hard work and professionalism and commitment of numerous individuals, as well as many hours of hard work. It is also reflected in a high degree of dedication and leadership on the part of the Park Board. The Government Finance Officers Association hopes that this award will serve as an example and encourages others to strive for the same high standards in their own financial reports. Therefore, it is my privilege on behalf of the Government Finance Officers Association to present this award to the Batavia Park District. Congratulations. I don't have a piece of paper to show you. But
Thank you.
That's all right. Congratulations.
Thanks, Rita.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Can we
And
do a
thank-
quick photo op
Sure.
with Tammy, Mitch, Rita?
Rich. Yeah.
Actually, I was gonna say if we could get each generation of
There you go.
finance directors, bring Aaron up there too.
Yeah,
since
bring-
he was-
yeah, Aaron.
You wanna stand behind her?
Five generations.
Yeah,
Aaron, you
for
wanna
sure.
go
He
up
was
there
there.
too? It's like a family grandparent picture.
You started the year.
Yeah, you started the, Aaron,
He
you
helped
started
with
the
it.
year with us. You can get up there.
You can stand in the back, you know?
Aaron, we're more comfortable with it
We
than you are.
control the captions on the picture, come on.
Right. We'll just say missing is,
Yeah.
awesome.
Great work.
Good job, guys.
I know that's not easy, and we certainly appreciate the efforts that you all put on the citizens' behalf, quite frankly, because it's really their money. And doing such a fine job in making sure that we do have a very high level of standard. And so I want to thank you. And Rita, thanks for coming out again. It's always good to see you.
See you next year.
Yeah. You know, I like this reunion with you, Aaron, and
You can
Mitch.
come
This works. And
anytime,
Tammy.
Rita.
Yeah,
Anytime.
this works.
Thank you, Rita. Merry Christmas, Tammy.
Merry Christmas.
All right, so the next item on the agenda is the fiscal year 2019 annual operating budget presentation.
All right, well, I'd just like to take a quick minute and thank, the board and all staff for all their work to get us to this point. This is a long process, and especially coming in right at the beginning of it, there's a lot of people that helped me get up to speed quickly and get this into a good place. So thank you, everybody. So this is a lot of numbers on the screen here. This represents the 2018 budgeted revenues and expenses, along with the projected revenues, expenses, and the 2019 budgeted revenues and expenses. You'll notice that capital drives this a lot, and at board direction, we're reinvesting a lot into the community this year because of the great work my predecessors and the staff had done here. We have a very healthy financial position currently, and we're able to do that without creating an additional tax burden on the community. So if you look down at the bottom and see the operating deficits, those are intentional on each of the budgets. And what I will say is, just to throw a quick number out there, we're contributing an additional $500,000 to our capital fund from our operating budget this year. So if you take that out for an apples to apples comparison, this is a stronger budget than the previous one we're coming from. So our operating budget is when you take away the debt service and capital and fund transfers. There is a decrease this year. There's a lot of one-time large dollar expenditures that the Park District has to incur this year. The Fox River Strategic Plan is a great example of that. Thanks to the programming staff and everything, we're still able to present a budget that does show a net surplus despite those challenges. So we're going to move into our major funds now. Our general fund is responsible for a lot of the administrative functions of the Park District. This is where you're seeing an additional $250,000 transfer to capital this year. In prior years, or I'm sorry, that's not correct. The additional transfer to capital is in the recreation fund. What's driving the change in net income this year is an adjustment to the tax levy. We have projected to be at 12 months of operating fund balance at the end of fiscal year 2018. That's the very top limit of our fund balance policy. Our fund balance policy for our operating fund says anywhere between 3 and 12 months is where we want to be. So we're adjusting the tax levy in the next year to redistribute it to other funds that have more of a need, and we're going to use some of that operational fund balance to keep funding our capital program. We pay for a lot of training to staff out of this budget, and we also have our capital improvement plan, which is separate from the capital development plans. One thing I would like to call attention to is you see the very bottom row, their 2018 budget variance. That's between the 2018 projected numbers and the 2018 original budget. On a scale that large, those are very close numbers. So I'd like to commend staff for doing a good job of staying within their budgets. And for people that are a little more visual, this is a bar graph showing those same trends. Moving on to the recreation fund, I'd like to give Steve and his team some accolades here. Earned revenue here, our program revenue is 66% of the revenue earned in this fund, and that really keeps the district going strong. We couldn't be talking about the level of capital investment that we are without those earned dollars. So you guys do a great job, and I don't want you to think that goes unappreciated. This funds a lot of our programming needs, so any direct costs and some indirect administrative costs comes out of the recreation fund, and they are also making a capital contribution this year. Last year that was solely out of the general fund. This year it's $750,000 out of the corporate fund and an additional $500,000 out of the rec fund to fund the capital projects that we've been talking about for the past couple months. And this is the same bar graph presentation for the recreation fund, and you can see there's an upward trend here. So great job, Steve, and you guys. We worked hard on this. I want to thank you guys again for going through many drafts with me here.
It was fun.
Sure it was.
For all of us, yeah.
Moving on to the capital development fund budget. The variances here are a little larger than they were in the other budgets. Poor Jim had a rough year in a few instances. There's a lot that went into this, honestly, for when we're talking about fiscal year 2018. We had a challenging end of the year just due to weather. We had to defer some projects into next year and account for that. That's really the big driver for the additional capital transfer, honestly. And we've been able to capitalize on some of the benefactor funds that Allison mentioned earlier. That's why you see the 2018 numbers are quite large there. The 2019 budgeted revenue is not quite as high as the 2018 projection, but that doesn't include any disbursements. That's a reflection of the bond sale that we're going to talk about in a little bit and those additional capital dollars that we're transferring from the general fund and the recreation fund. And that's the trending there. I don't want people to be alarmed by the negative nets on the right side of the chart. That's an intentional spend down of fund balance. We want to be good stewards of our tax dollars and our earned revenue dollars too. And the reason that we drive so hard for that is to be able to reinvest in our community like this. So if there's any questions, I'd be happy to field those from the board. But again, I'd just like to thank the board and staff for their hard work and direction on this. And this has been a great process. I couldn't have done it without you guys.
Great job coming in,
Excellent.
at the beginning.
Right, you really did come in right in August, so that was
Good time.
thick in the midst of the budget, so.
It's a great way to learn about the district.
Board, any questions? Thank you. Next item on the agenda is Capital Development Plan Progress Report.
Well, Allison showed you a lot of the good pictures of the progress that we've made. We, of course, are having the weather this week that we needed to have before or right after Thanksgiving to be able to finish off things like we had hoped. The parking lot, there are still kind of detailing kind of things that are going to happen tomorrow. They're going to be building a very exciting dumpster enclosure that is required by the city zoning regulations, so we'll get that done. The lights really are, you should really drive by because it's pretty impressive.
Yeah, I've seen them.
They're beautiful, bright,
Yeah.
but by no means are they intrusive whatsoever. nothing goes out even as far as the sidewalk, so our neighbors should be very happy. The playground on the other side is coming along nicely at this point. As we saw, the equipment is being installed. There are a few more pieces that will be of the actual toy structures that'll be put in yet this year. The shed is framed and up. It's not sided, but they are hoping to, it's such a small space, it's really been a challenge for the contractor to figure out how to get everything in and then get themselves out as they work their way, pouring concrete and installing equipment. So it's been a very challenging but rewarding project on this one. And as we saw then, the houses will be coming down this week, and the restoration process will take place over the next couple of weeks. And our contractor has said he would like to be done and out of there by the 1st of January, so.
It is so awesome, Jim.
The
parking lot.
Oh,
It's
the parking
so
lot, yeah. It's crazy. I know.
That was like my main thing I wanted to happen 6 years ago.
Yeah,
And it's
I know.
like smooth and you're not like potholes and it's awesome.
Yeah,
And you
and
can
it
say it
was
happened while you're in the-
partially
Right.
striped, and then the striping guy has let his crews go, so
It looks
what
great.
it is now will be until spring, and then we'll get all the new surface down, and it'll be wonderful. Crazy cool.
Awesome.
Amazing. And then hold on to your hats for next year, because we've already started that process.
Great. Next on the agenda is 14A, approval of fiscal year 2019 annual operating budget.
So I would just like to remind the board, this is separate from the budget and appropriation ordinance. We are going to ask that you approve the operating budget tonight. The budget and appropriation ordinance is up next. That's out for a period of public inspection, and that is available again at the rec center and on the website if anybody would like to review them.
So under this item, you're looking for us to give you consensus to move forward with the appropriations ordinance?
That's the next item. If this
No.
is to approve the operating budget, if you're comfortable with
Well,
everything we've been talking.
14A says, give staff consensus to move forward with the operating budget. 14B is the approval of the ordinance for the operating budget.
Correct. So if you're comfortable with everything that we've been talking about up to this point, that's what's on the agenda in 14A.
So we just give a consensus to move forward?
No,
to
because the
B?
next one's the ordinance of approval.
Yeah, the next one's just a tentative approval,
Right.
or approval of the tentative budget.
I'm confused. We've
I am
never-
too.
we've
That's
never-
what I'm
we've never done
confused about.
consensus
Let me
is-
explain real
before.
quick. Yeah,
What is
we
this
have
one?
an operating budget that, that's what was presented here, and that's what staff strives to work within on the day-to-day operations. The budget and appropriation ordinance is the actual ordinance that we file in the county, and there's a difference between the two. We do have a buffer between it's a 10% escalator between the budget and the appropriation ordinance as a contingency in case anything strange were to happen during the year. We don't have to go through this whole.
Understood. We've never done a consensus, but I'll ask the board if we have consensus to move forward with the budget and appropriations ordinance. Consensus, board?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
So in other words, no changes to the 2019 budget.
Yeah.
Right.
So then I would move on to 14B, which is the approval of the ordinance number 383, which is the fiscal year 2019 annual operating budget. And this should be made available, and this has already been approved by the board?
No, this is made available. This cannot be, the ordinance itself cannot be approved until January.
Yeah,
Then why is there an
yeah,
approval
I
of an
think we need to
ordinance?
reword,
I think you're right in terms of the confusion.
right.
The first item refers to the operating budget,
Okay,
not the budget appropriation.
Got it.
ordinance. The second item, we're talking about the budget, the tentative appropriation ordinance, and that won't be voted on until, it's just.
I get
at
that,
this
but
point,
I-
It's just consensus to
Put it on
authorize
file.
staff to make it available for public inspection for 30 days before you take final action.
It's the wording that's confusing me,
Yeah.
because it's
I
asking,
think-
in the title, it's asking for an approval, and none is
Yeah.
supposed to be given,
But
so.
I think I got that from Jim Rock last year, though.
Yeah.
Because I know we just used
Was
the
I just
agenda
as
from last
confused
year.
last year?
and-
so we don't need to take action
I
on
don't remember
14B.
this part of that.
So right now, we don't need to take action on 14B because it's already posted, is it not?
It has to be posted for 30 days, right?
Correct.
Jim?
It's just consensus to authorize posting of that.
Okay, do we have the board's consensus on
Yes.
14B?
Yes.
I'm sorry, make it available for.
Make it available for public view, yeah. So we have board consensus? Okay, we have board consensus.
Yes.
14C, the moment we've all been waiting for. Gentlemen, you want to come forward and address what happened during the, before we take formal action? Anyone?
Good evening, everybody. I'm Anthony Maselli with Spear Financial. So we took bids yesterday on the district's general obligation limited tax park bond series 2018. Received a very good turnout with 5 bidders, and in an odd turn of events had a tie. So you had 2 bidders come in with a 2.7%, which is the winning bid. So in this case, what we did was split the issue and issue a Series 2018A and Series 2018B, split it directly down the middle and gave each bank, well, not bank in this case, but I'll go over that in just a second, each bidder half of the issue. The winning bidders were McHenry Savings Bank out of McHenry, Illinois, and Herscher Community Unit School District, number 2. Herscher has been bidding on a few of our issues lately, and governmental entities can invest in other governmental entities' bond issues, and that's what they've been doing. So in this case, we've got 2 bidders. The final par amount between the 2 issues will be $688,880. So each issue will be half of that, result in just over $678,000 for annual capital. Happy to answer any questions.
So is the number correct in our
I think
motion?
the number's wrong in our motion of 691,000.
That includes some issuance costs.
No, so 691,000 would be the preliminary number that would have been sent initially by Chapman and Cutler. Now, that number is just a plug-in number until we get the real interest rate.
Oh, okay.
The new number, we have 2 issues of $344,440.
Totaling?
Totaling $688,880.
And that's what we actually would need to entertain the motion on today?
That's correct. So Chapman and Cutler should have sent the final ordinances with those.
Wait, I got them in front of me.
Is that what matches that?
Chair's got it, we're good.
Happy to answer any questions.
Any questions, board?
Does the day that you issue this have making a difference in the rate that we get? For example, the stock market didn't do so hot yesterday. Should we have waited today, tomorrow, yesterday?
Well, it's interesting. With bonds, it's usually the inverse. So stock market not doing hot is
So yesterday was a great day.
is benefit.
Go MAGA.
It's hard to do that. It's hard to. I'd like to say that was picked by us, but really we take bids ahead of the board meeting, knowing that we're going to be approving today. There's not a lot of leeway. There's a lot of lead up to getting this to happen. Not a lot of flexibility on timing, so it's hard to pick, months out when, if we're gonna hit an event that's gonna cause rates to go up. Yes, markets change and, the day you lock in can affect the rate you get, but not something that's easily chosen, but it did work out.
If I could, Dave Phillips with Spear Financial. Anthony is a senior vice president with our team, and as I move toward retirement next year, Anthony will be the lead officer serving the Park District. You may know our newest member of the team.
I have no idea who you're talking about.
He looks sort of familiar.
We frankly recruited him off of your team to join our team, and thank you for the training that you did to develop him as an excellent young analyst with us. So we very much look forward to many years of working with him, and again, thank you, Allison, and your team for the work that you did to work with Aaron and provide to him the background that is important for us to continue to have the type of background that Aaron has and adds to our team. So, sorry to steal him from you, but not really sorry to steal him from you. So thank you very much. We look forward to, again, years of continued service and enjoy the opportunity to continue to work with Mitch and, from prior relationship and here. So thank you very much. We appreciate it.
We miss you, Aaron, but congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Good luck in your retirement.
Yes.
Okay, so I'd entertain a motion to approve the ordinance number 384, an ordinance providing for the issue of $688,880 of general obligation tax, limited tax park bonds of the Park District for the payment of land for parks for building, maintenance, improving, and protecting same and the existing land and facilities of said Park District, and for the payment of expenses incident thereto, providing for the levy of a direct annual tax to pay the principal and interest on said bonds, and authorizing the sale of these said bonds to the purchasers thereof as presented.
So moved.
I seconded it.
You seconded?
Yeah.
Oh, of course, I wouldn't expect anything different tonight.
That's my job.
So, motion by Tillman, second by Gray. Any further discussion by the board? Shall I please call the roll?
Tillman.
Aye.
Gray. Aye. Riley.
Aye.
Dorsey.
Aye.
Callahan.
Aye, motion carries. Excellent.
Thank you.
And just for the public's
Oh, you can't leave.
edification, the Park District leverages our bonding capabilities to ensure that we can continue to do our capital plans for the Park District. We have a 10-year model that we use for capital projects, and then every 5 years we kind of reevaluate what that is. And so I know that the neighborhoods appreciate the work that goes on in reinvesting in their parks and our facilities. So I want to thank the public for their confidence in us and being able to continue this program, which has been in existence now for 18 years. So anyway, thank you. And gentlemen, thanks for coming this evening. Appreciate it.
Thank you. You too. Good to see you, Aaron.
So next item on the agenda is, I would entertain a motion to approve expenses for the Park Board of Commissioners in accordance with the Local Government Travel Expense Control Act, Public Act 099-0604, as presented.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Tillman, second by Gray. Any further discussion? Shall I please call the roll?
Tillman.
Aye.
Gray. Aye. Riley.
Aye.
Dorsey.
Aye.
Callahan.
Aye, motion carries. So that takes us through our action items. Now, I guess we have one more after executive session, but, so Fox Valley Special Rec, any update?
Oh, you know what? There's an approval of resolution.
Yeah, there's
Oh, I'm sorry.
252. It's
Oh,
not
I
on
forgot.
the,
Schedule.
it's not on the breakout, but it's on the agenda.
Oh,
There's not a cover page for it. I didn't
is
see
it in there?
I
Is it in there?
did not see it.
Should be.
But it's on the agenda, 252, but it's not in the,
Or is that
Oh, you
Yeah.
don't have a copy of the?
it's not in,
It's on the hard copy of the agenda, but it's
Right,
not in
but
the
it's not
actual
in the
electronic
actual-
copy.
Packet.
Okay.
it's not in the packet
So what are
portion.
we doing here?
So it's just the approval of the regular board meeting schedule. So if you wanted to move the time from 7 o'clock to a different time, move it from the third Tuesday of every month to,
Is
Right.
everybody comfortable with the meeting schedule as we have been doing so for?
Right, I am, but do we need to amend this later to make sure that that's in case somebody?
or we
like,
can just
re-
table it till next month too.
No,
Can we do that? Only
yeah,
because
it's
I'd
not-
like to say as presented and we don't have it in front of us.
Right. I'm just worried if somebody looks it up to put it on their calendar and it's not in here that, you know.
We can table it till next month, and then we could just set the next
Okay.
board meeting for third Tuesday of the month.
For your benefit, because
I hear you.
you have to publish it once you adopt it.
Yeah, okay.
So,
Right.
so someone's argument that it's not there is.
So can we say that the presentation is our talking about it then, and then you could say it's as presented?
Well, I guess I could entertain a motion to approve the resolution number 252 fiscal year 2019 annual or regular board meeting schedule as the third Tuesday of each month
At
for
7 p.m.
at 7 p.m. for this upcoming year 2019.
It was beautiful.
Do you want to?
So moved.
We got a motion.
That I will do.
And a second. Lord, you got a second.
I'm gonna make you say
All
it
right.
again.
What he said.
Yeah.
You got that?
No.
So, I have a motion and a second. Please call the roll.
Who was the-
Motion, second.
Tillman.
Aye.
Dorsey.
Aye.
Riley.
Aye.
Gray. Aye. Callahan.
Aye, motion carries. All right, so we're not tabling it, we did it.
Good. Done.
If you could just update our packet and include it,
Absolutely.
please,
Sure will.
so that it's correct in our electronic record. Okay, Fox Valley Special Rec.
Yes, there's going to be a retirement announcement of an individual beginning in January,
One individual?
of one individual, and I will be on a search firm as a part of replacing that individual.
Nice.
And I will let you know more as more
Okay,
becomes available.
great.
The head individual.
Will we have an individual?
number
Will
one.
we have an individual
Individual.
opportunity
Phone
to?
number.
Will we have an individual opportunity to acknowledge that individual at some point?
Yes.
Okay, wonderful. Fox Valley Parks Foundation.
The Batavia Parks
I'm sorry,
Foundation
Parks Valley.
has,
Batavia Parks Foundation.
Yeah, that one too.
we still have not set a meeting date, so it's going to have to be tabled until 2019.
Okay.
I guarantee.
Oh, but before your place
Yep.
settings, we
If
do
you
have,
have some suggested meeting times right before your place, if you want to fill that
You
out,
got it?
we'll send that down to
Tom has
Allison.
it all ready for you.
Can you send that down, please?
Send it down. She has my answer to this.
Oh, okay, there you go.
Okay,
Never,
anything else?
never.
No, that's all.
Never heard
The
of
last meeting was,
No.
weather kind of put off us all meeting,
Okay.
so.
So I would entertain a motion to enter into executive session to discuss a single item, the semi-annual review of executive session minutes, 2C21 of the Illinois Open Meetings Act.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Tillman, second by Gray. Although, Shelley, please call the roll.
Tillman.
Aye.
Gray. Aye. Riley.
Aye.
Dorsey.
Aye.
Callahan.
Aye. So we will be going into executive session to review our executive session meeting minutes. We do have one agenda item after we come out, and that is to approve the recommendation of resolution number 253 for our review that happens in executive session. So that will most likely not be recorded because we're going to let everybody go. So I want to wish you a very Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and a wonderful New Year. Safe travels for those of you who are traveling, and enjoy the time you spent with your family. We will look forward to seeing you again in January, rather.
Ditto.
Merry Christmas. Happy New Year.